I have pretty much come full circle from a spiritual perspective. When I was a kid, I went to church with my folks, mostly because they took me. But and then in college, I paid my way through college doing wedding photography. And after seeing so many religions, it didn't make sense to me. And so I pretty much lost faith. And then last summer, I found your book, one of your books, and I've been studying and integrating it with my life pretty much ever since. I kind of feel like in your introductory CD, when Jerry was telling us, or trying to tell Esther about Seth Speaks, and she thought it was kind of weird.
She said, please don't bring that book into our house.
Okay.
And not in the bedroom where I sleep.
And I kind of feel I'm in that situation as well, because my wife, who's the love of my life, thinks Abraham's kind of strange.
She's right.
And in a good way, I think.
Our favorite thing that came back, Jerry and Esther enjoyed it so much. This man said, I just can't get into something where this man calls his wife Abraham.
So my question is, how can I open up the love of my life, my wife, to the teachings of Abraham?
The most important thing is to not only let her know, but first come to the place of really knowing it yourself, of trusting her to make good decisions. There's something about, and we think this is the controversy that you felt over your exposure to so many religions. There's this common thing that goes on in your human species that goes something like, I have now found the right way, which means you haven't. So now you need to come with me on the right path. And religions have been battling that battle for a very long time. When you were talking about your exposure to all of them during your time of photographing weddings, we wanted to jump in and say to you, it's interesting because so many religions are really good paths to alignment. You see, because everyone, no matter what religion or otherwise that they are a part of, everyone is exploring contrast and putting things into their vortex. And Source is answering everyone, no matter what label has been given to them by themselves or by someone else. Right. So everyone has Source energy flowing to them and assisting them. And people are using lots of different tools to prepare their grid in order to allow their realization. In religions, they often call them blessings. So we can't see anything in the world wrong with people living life and defining what they want better for the world or better for themselves or better for their family, and then finding some process or some religion or some leader, something that they are using to soothe themselves or bring themselves up to vibrational alignment with what's in their vortex. Because there are all kinds of people receiving all kinds of things because they believe that what they are doing is the right thing. And we would not try to encourage anyone to move away from anything that is bringing them that love of God that so many find, that spirit that so many find, is a way that they have found to align themselves with the goodness that they deserve. And it just doesn't matter what label it comes under, you see. But most religions, and your discomfort with them, is that they're not standing in satisfaction of what they've found, because they're not sure about it, because they're not consistent in it. And so in their fear that maybe they haven't found it, they begin attacking what others have found. And that really is more of the energy that you feel around more religions. There are a lot of religions that if they discover that you're even listening to something else, then you are ostracized from them because they want it to be this and nothing other than this. And that's because they don't trust in the expansion. They don't understand the movement of source. They don't understand the personal involvement with source that all individuals have. They want it to be something that someone else discovered and wrote down, and then they want to follow it by the letter. They don't let religion be real. They don't let alignment with source be real. They don't let it be a personal experience. They don't use their own guidance system. They don't make it personal. They don't understand that the way they feel is their indication of their blending with that source energy. But a lot of them go to those churches and find that blending through the sermon that is offered or through the music that is offered. There are a whole lot of people that are finding a whole lot of alignment in a whole lot of ways that maybe you wouldn't find it, you see. But we're rooting for their alignment, and it doesn't matter. A lot of alignment happened at the Super Bowl game, you see. And it was on Sunday.
That's a good thing.
So now back to the question. Since words don't teach, and you can only teach through the clarity of your example, we would just demonstrate as best we can the alignment that we are discovering, and not make it about words, but make it about the emotion that you are fostering deliberately through the power of your thoughts. And before you know it, Jerry was reading those Seth books, and Esther did not want to read them, and she did not want him to read them either. But she saw him taking pleasure in reading them, and because she cared about his pleasure, then it softened how she felt about him reading. And then he wasn't trying to push them at her. He just every now and again would quote something from it. And as she listened to what he was saying rather than from where she thought it came from, she felt the resonance within her being of what was said. You just can't deny the resonance of what the larger part of you knows. For example, if you were to say to this woman you love, you know, you're wrong about the way you're approaching this, that would feel off to her and off to you because you're out of alignment with you. And when you're out of alignment with you, then you can't promote alignment within another. But if you were to say something like, I think you're really wise and I think you can trust your intuitions, and don't worry about this, I'm not going off on the deep end on anything, and I'm stable and all is well, and I think we can feel, that wouldn't push her buttons so hard, you see. Or if you were to say something even more in alignment with who you really are and what your inner being knows, you could say, we've lived enough life to know who we really are. And I believe that we are all born to fulfill our reason for being here. And I know that there are a lot of different paths for all of us, but I believe that in the eyes of God, use whatever words are comfortable to her, that we are all chosen and that we are all blessed. And I don't think that there is any one path. And I think it's a path that each of us must find. And I think it's a path that we must be open to every day. And that's all I'm saying here, say to her. I just want to be aware of my path. I don't want to take somebody else's word for it. I don't want to live some doctrine that has been written in other centuries by other people who were living in different times under different circumstances. I believe that our alignment and our access to that knowledge is alive and well now. I believe that I can offer a prayer in a request for a solution, and I believe that that solution can be given to me. I just have to be in the vibrational frequency that I can realize it, that I can receive it, you see. Esther has become a friend to many more religions than ever before, because when something is presented, Jerry was such an avid reader. And so every time he got his hands on anything, he would read it to Abraham and ask what we thought about it. And what they discovered is there is vibrational basis in every religion, you see. Not in the way it's practiced, not in the way it's used to separate people, not in the way it's used to say, I've got the right one and you've got the wrong one. There is nothing about any religion that is, or any person that is pushing forward some religion. There's nothing about that that is in alignment, you see. But there is no religion that is identified as the one. And there is no work that will ever be the end. And what you are receiving from Abraham will not be the end of that which you will seek. And what is offered here is not the ending place for anyone. It's just the path along the way that gives you the opportunity to discover who you are. And the discovery of who you are will lead you to never-ending unfolding, because that is what eternity and eternalness is all about, you see. There is not a philosophy or a prophecy. There is not a knowledge that has been known by source. There's not the right way that's been identified and you are all set upon your path in order to see if you can find your way to the right way. You are creating the right way, and you are creating the right way by living some of what you consider to be the unpleasant way. This is an expanding universe, and everything that is, including that which man wants to call God, is expanding, you see. And you can feel when you're on the path of that which you intended, and you can feel when you're off the path. So do a little condemning and feel how off it is. And do a little praising and feel how on it is. Do a little blaming and feel how off it is. Do a little appreciating and feel how on it is. Do a little wishing for something that feels good to you and feel how hopeful you feel. Do a little acknowledging that you can't do something and feel how depression will sweep over you. You can prove to yourself in an afternoon what source thinks about the things that you're thinking about. There's no reason to be curious or even confused a little bit. Hate someone and feel how it feels, and love someone and feel how it feels. Show yourself how source is feeling about these subjects. And then you can go to religion after religion. You can go to leader after leader, and you can feel when they're on and when they're off, when they're on and when they're off. Anyone who's speaking about the wrath of God is off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Really good. Yeah.